What's going on, folks? We made a field trip today. We're over at Thomas's house. He's walking around in the background.
Sorry.
There he is back there. And we're gonna take a look at the LS Miata. This is, guys, the king of LS swaps, sort of. You guys gotta check out the video. He did this crazy video, his last video, where he actually bought headers. And I'll actually show you. What kind of headers did you get?
I got Camaro 1 7/8 headers.
Okay, so just for reference, I tried Camaro headers on my car, and I took them back to the guy that loaned them to me, that was going to give them to me, because I just couldn't make it work. I felt pretty accomplished when I modified 2 of the runners on my headers. This guy completely chopped up the whole headers and made Camaro headers fit in a Miata with a swap.
The other side is definitely the more crazy one.
This right here, I mean, you can already see he chopped all of this thing apart down here. This was like the easy side.
Yeah.
The other side, when you look down there, you can see all of the cuts, and you know, you can see it in more detail in his video, because I'm sure he's not going to take these back out until he has to.
Film it from this direction too.
Yeah, but you can see the steering shaft right here, and they curve around the steering shaft. And you can see down here, I mean, just all of that stuff. Cut the collector, basically deconstructed this entire pipe. And I don't know, that's just really cool. So
it was my first time doing it too.
Yeah, first time.
Before I just had to wing it. It's not that complicated. Once you cut it into pieces and you know the steps that it takes to put it back together, getting all those nooks and crannies is not as hard as you think welding a collector on.
Yep. So it's just like I said, folks. Sometimes you just gotta not be scared to get out there and just do it. Definitely check that video out. It's probably the most recommended video from Thomas that I would say that I've seen, besides his drifting videos. But
yeah, there's no drifting. It's all just building the car. This is kind of the down season right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this car was just severely restricted with the exhaust I had on it. This is actually right there on the floor. My old exhaust, which may be for sale at some point. I don't know. It'd be a good swap setup for anybody. Yeah, look how small those runners are.
So that's the Miata LS swap exhaust. So yeah, it's got V-bands on it and stuff already.
I'd say this exhaust is good up to about. I'd say this exhaust is good up to about 400 horsepower. After that, it's restrictive.
Cool. So what we're going to be doing today is basically trying to rebuild the rest of the exhaust, because the whole thing needed an exhaust upgrade, because he got a really cool engine in there, which is actually very similar to the setup that I'm going to be running in the Drift Fox.
Nice. Oh,
and
I noticed you didn't drop any specs on that last
No
video.
specific specs. They don't really know stuff about my engine.
I saw you painted it gold. That was
yeah, it's gold.
Make it look like the last block.
Gold member. This one's a little bit more gold, but
gold.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just get into it.
Yeah, we're going to be finishing up the exhaust. Everything's tacked up from the back of the headers to the X pipe, and then I had to stop there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull the transmission mount out so I can get the full exhaust, both pipes out, and then weld up all those unions that are just tacked currently. Once that whole piece is solid, we'll put it back in, and then we'll work on extending the exhaust further out. I just don't want to make it too long, because when you pull that all back apart, those tacks will flex, and if you weld all that up, it might not fit right. So you want to do it in smaller chunks, just to keep everything where it's supposed to be.
All right, so we just pulled the exhaust out from under the car. See, we've got the flex pipes here. Just a word to the wise, what I learned on my build, this doesn't have V-bands on it, but anytime you have V-bands, you got to have a flex pipe. But this is actually, again, very similar to mine.
Not necessarily true if you do it really perfectly.
Yes.
You don't have to have flex pipes. You should have flex pipes between the 2 headers, though, because heat, stuff will expand, stuff will make very loud banging, creaking sounds when it's expanding. I had that with my car for a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
good. Sorry. Yeah.
Also very similar to what I've got. I've got the X pipe on mine coming back, except I have 2 fake mufflers on mine. He's got no mufflers.
Fake mufflers. Oh, you want the better mask? The self auto darkening one?
I
Here.
can't see.
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. All right, now I'm in business.
All right. Stuart's over here helping Thomas Miata get his shit done. Thomas Miata conning all the people into working on this car for him. Try to get a little closer.
Alrighty. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, that was bad.
You can like stop it if you need to. And instead of running beads, just run, you know, tacks. Just to tack on top of each other.
Okay.
Especially when there's a gap.
All right, so basically what's happening right now is my welds were too ugly for Thomas, which is saying a lot because he doesn't care about ugly welds, but I'm not used to using this machine. You learn and you live. All right, Thomas, you had me all hyped about buying a nice welder, and now I just want to stay flux core life. So what went wrong here?
Oh, I think you're probably just going a little fast.
Okay.
Just spend a little more time on it. If you feel like you need to spend more time there and you're not blowing holes through it, you can turn your wire speed down. Right now I'm running the wire speed kind of high because I was cruising with it. And I think you just were cruising a little too fast.
Well, you go ahead and finish that up.
Sure.
All right, folks, so we did actually end up pulling the headers off. So here's a look at what they look like. If you're familiar with Camaro headers, which you're probably not because most people aren't, but you can see all the cuts that he had to make here and here.
The side that I shortened.
Right, this is the easy one. So you basically just shorten this side?
Yeah, I made a couple of cuts and shortened it, but I kept the collector together. As you can tell, that's the original weld on it.
Yeah, this one over here, he had to completely deconstruct the connector, the collector, weld the inside. Again, you'll see all of that stuff if you go over to his video. You know, re-weld the flanges back on. You see all these cuts, just like completely chop this thing to pieces and put it back together.
Yeah,
so.
And we light tested it too. We dropped a really, really bright flashlight down in each runner and looked for holes. We found a couple, ground them out, weld them back up. So these should be fairly sealed up. I know those welds look absolutely gross.
Not worse than mine.
We're going, yeah, they're not as bad as yours at least, but the you know, the machine was fighting me a lot on that header. Like I had a leak, had an air leak, I had low gas. It was a whole thing. Is that like
one small section that you put back in there?
Yeah. So basically what you do when you're trying to make turns and stuff, and you can see it here as well. Basically, you basically cut it and you just get it close. And then you've been cutting pipe for hours, right? So you got lots of little slivers laying around on the floor. You just grab one of those slivers, and if it fits in that hole good enough, just weld it. And sometimes you get lucky and you can make it real thick and like weld the whole thing.
Dirty pie cuts.
So yeah, I mean, you can see here, like this is, I cut this and just bent it out. I didn't actually cut it all the way through and then just put a piece of metal in between and then welded each side of it.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, dirty pie cuts, exactly.
Good stuff.
When you're up and down and in and out from under the car and you don't have a lift, you're just looking to save time. Like, I mean, I've probably got, just in these two headers alone, 14 or 15 hours, and most of that time I had people helping me. Yeah. So double it. You know, you're talking 30 man hours into a set of headers, and you're just in pain and you want it over with. So that's why the welds end up looking the way they do.
Well, you either save time or you save money. You can't save both.
Yes, I have more time than money, so I prefer to do it this way. I could have bought a set of 1 3/4 headers for like 1,800 bucks, and they probably still would have needed some modification.
Wow.
So I figured, well, for $300 I can buy these stainless ones and cut them up, make what I need to make work, and build my own exhaust anyways, because I mean I was gonna have to do all this stuff anyway.
Yep.
You know, so save I think all the exhaust money wise I've probably got $750 into it, and that's half the cost, less than half the cost just the headers would have been, and I would have still had to do the rest. And so cool, lots of time.
Alright, so we're getting ready to run to the store, and we're going to take the V8 M3. Look at that, surprise, surprise. It's got an LS motor sitting in it.
Don't mind the giant rusty pipe as part of my coolant system. It is working perfectly fine. It's not rusted, it's not rusting inside. It just needs a little light coat of black paint.
Is this a, what motor is this?
This is an LQ4, so this is a 6.0.
Oh, okay, 6.0, sweet.
And it's a 2007, it came out.
This is very good. This is what I always wanted to do when I had an E46. Didn't work out.
I've got working air conditioning and working heat in this swap. I got the whole build on YouTube, the entire build from start to finish. I think it's probably, shoot, I don't know, 20 videos or something like that. Probably an hour of footage, but I go through the entire build of this thing. I got this engine for 1,500 bucks with a trans. I sold the trans for 1,500 bucks. I basically got this engine for free. I got a TR6060 for a good deal. And
you sold a, what, a 4L60?
No, it's got a TR6060 in it. So it's a manual 6.
Well, you said you got it with a transmission. It was a 4L60?
No, it came with a 6L 6L
80?
80 or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay, yeah,
like a
yes.
nicer, newer, and
Yeah.
it's a two-wheel drive one.
Okay.
So people wanted it. I sold that for $1,500, the transmission. Here, hit the body.
V8 power. Sounds really good.
It sounds so good for the shitty exhaust that I have on it. Like, watch that episode where I build the exhaust on this thing. The collector goes down into like a 2-inch pipe for a little while on the passenger side. Yeah, this thing's so restricted, it's crazy. It'd probably pick up 20 horsepower if I put a real exhaust on this car. Maybe that's what I should reuse my headers for.
All right, so before we throw the headers back on, we're going to hit it with the ceramic coat, and then we're going to wrap them. All right, folks, so we started wrapping the headers. We got like a 4-pack of this header wrap, and we've got 2 runners done so far, and that's really going to help with temperature in the engine bay, because this is a V8 in a Miata, which is never meant to be there, and things are kind of tight. Alrighty, so we got 1 header wrapped. Looks
It's a wrap.
extremely race car. Yep.
Definitely
Ignore
does.
that bit down at the bottom. That doesn't look cool. The rest of it looks cool.
Well, that's on the backside. You'll never see it anyway.
Yeah, you'll never see it.
What the problem is? Tell me. There it is. Yes.
Here you go.
Here we go. What?
Header bolt.
Oh.
And there's a wrench around here somewhere.
Son of!
I was trying to shift my weight.
Did you lose it?
I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, here's the socket.
Alright, stop trying so hard.
So just hold it there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try less.
Do less.
If you happen to know where the wrench is.
Yeah, it's in my pocket.
Justin, is that a flashlight, or are you happy to see me?
Uh-oh.
It's actually, I've got a flashlight and I'm happy to see it.
Oh. So why does it only feel like one?
Well, because it's a small flashlight, if you know what I mean.
So it's a big flashlight?
You know what would be nice right now?
A flashlight?
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you have,
It's
you have a
also
light?
in my pocket.
Is it really?
Everything's in my pocket.
Get the flashlight out of your pocket. Not that one.
Those are my balls on your
Can you
back.
please get 2 bolts in so I can fuck off?
I got one. Think of switch?
Do
Awesome.
the very back one, the hardest one to...
Yeah.
Alright, you guys, been fun. We got 1 header done. Thomas is going to finish everything else up. And that's pretty much it. It's been a full day of a lot of stuff, a lot of activities. So,
Yeah, see
Peace
you
out.
next time.
catch you guys next time.
Bye, Stuart.